to Europe. Joining me right now is Colorado Congressman and Financial Services Committee member Scott Tipton. And Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria. Good to be with you.
Your reaction first to the happenings with this Boeing jet.
This is something that the FAA is, I know, going to be looking into. It is a little concerning with the Wall Street Journal report that's coming out. And we need to make sure that all of the traveling public is obviously going to be safe, as well as all of the flight crews.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the FAA is saying that this jet is safe, and yet you've got China, you've got Egypt, so many countries grounding the flight, grounding this jet, this 737 jet. And on at least 2 occasions last year, American pilots reportedly raised concerns over a sudden downward tilt when flying the Boeing 737 MAX 8 jet. Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz, who chairs the subcommittee on aviation and space, is now calling on the U.S. to temporarily ground the aircraft until the FAA confirms the plane's safety. But the FAA says it's doubling down, refusing to follow the nearly 30 countries around the world that have already moved to suspend the jet. So, what does the FAA see that these other countries are not seeing?
That's going to be a question they're going to have to answer. I think Senator Cruz is probably appropriate in his assessment. We need to be listening to the pilots when they're starting to report that they're having issues with some of the new technology that they're having to deal with. I think we better listen.
Let me switch gears, talk about financial services for a moment, because Wells Fargo under pressure. CEO Tim Sloan faced scrutiny yesterday from both sides of the aisle during the hearing before the House Financial Services Committee. The CEO fired back at freshman Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after she accused Wells Fargo of, quote, financing the caging of children. Watch this. Got to get your reaction.
Why was the bank involved in the caging of children and financing the caging of children to begin with?
I don't know how to answer that question because we weren't.
You were financing and involved in debt financing of CoreCivic and Geo Group, correct?
For a period of time, we were involved in financing one of the firms. We're not anymore. We weren't directly involved in that.
So, Congressman, Sloan is the first of many top bank executives who are going to testify with the Financial Services Committee. Is this what we should expect? What's your reaction to all of this?
We're seeing something that's starting to become prevalent in terms of a lot of our Democrat colleagues, where they're going to be attacking financial institutions, trying to be able to assign some blame. Make no question, we'd had bipartisan condemnation of a lot of the actions by Wells Fargo, but to be able to make an extension that a financial institution is going to be liable for a legal transaction for what happens afterward, I think is ridiculous. And I think the deplatforming, this is actually going to be an attack to where they're trying to be able to actually eliminate making actual loans. We've got to keep this financial market working, keep the economy moving, and to be able to create good jobs.